So, Chairman, Presidential Task Force, Honorable Ministers for Health, ladies and gentlemen of the media. I thought today to start from where the SGF stopped in reflecting on the visit and guidance by Mr. President over the weekend. Of course, Mr. President started by thanking all of us and all healthcare workers and everybody across the country that have been working very hard over the past 4 months now in responding to this outbreak. He then interrogated us in detail about all aspects of the response. And we went through the details of efforts being made by all sectors in driving the response. But I guess what touched me the most was where he ended up after that. He asked us about the impact the restrictions we're having on ordinary Nigerians, the impact it's had on farmers and people going back to farm, the impact it's had on small and medium-scale enterprises, and the millions of Nigerians that go out every day to earn their living. He reminded us on our socio-economic circumstances in Nigeria and what we are able to do as a government and what we are not able to do, and why we had to reinvigorate our efforts to get this outbreak under some level of control so that people can get back to their livelihoods, recognizing how important those livelihoods are, particularly in our own context. And then we reviewed the restrictions and where we were and the level of compliance. And we reached a consensus that we will have to live with this for a few weeks, months, into the foreseeable future. But how do we do this safely, was his question. And the question that we all have to grapple with as a community. How do we restart our economies safely? How do we move from the narrative of a lockdown to a narrative of a safe reopening so that people can go back to their livelihoods while still staying safe as possible from this virus? How do we do that in the farms? How do we do that in the markets? How do we do that in the schools? How do we do that in transport? How do we do that in aviation? And really, this has to be our focus in the next few weeks. How does the small kiosk owner down the road manage his business in a safe way and realize that in planning for that, he can find a way to be safe, but also to restart his business? How can the barber shop restart his barbing business? How can the services that the salons restart their businesses safely? There are no easy answers to any of these, and the answers cannot all come from NCDC or from any of us. We can provide very broad guidance, but I was happy to hear the efforts being made by the aviation industry, the detailed thinking that has started to happen in order to eventually restart. Similar conversations are going on in education. I've been privy to some of that. It will be much easier for Mr. President in 2 weeks' time if we go back to him, not with a narrative of do I open a lockdown or not, but with a narrative that in the event that we are ready, that the time has come, this is the preparation we have made as an industry. These are the new guidelines we have come up with in order to reopen safely. This will make his decision a lot easier. Context. So it's a little bit easier to make those decisions. I think the hardest questions for all of us would be, how do we make our small and medium-scale enterprises, where We can't regulate every man that sells recharge cards on the roads, every small kiosk, every small barber. How do we make those businesses safe for all of us? And that is where the term taking responsibility goes beyond a catchphrase. It really is about how do we do this collectively. So next time you go out and walk down your street to sit down by the kiosk down the street, engage with the kiosk owner and have a discussion, because not everyone really has come to terms with why a small invisible virus has stopped the entire economy. It's very difficult for people to understand what is going on. This is not like crime, electricity, or any of the other things that are more visualizable. For many people, they still doubt what is going on because it's difficult to explain why microorganisms are causing an entire economy to stop. So we need all of us to re-engage with our populations, our people, our churches, our communities, our mosques, our businesses, our schools, our transporters, whoever we are communicating with. Is how do we plan for the new world for now? How do we plan and engage to live safely with COVID-19? This is really at the heart of what Mr. President was thinking and talking about as we met him this weekend. And it should drive our own thinking conversations as we plan on how to manage the next 2 weeks as we continue in phase 1, but really then plan for how to reopen the rest of the economy safely. Thank you very much.